Hello everybody, it's Shiba. Today I'm starting a new series where I talk about bands who really didn't go nowhere but have some stuff behind the band, and stuff has more lore than people would bat an eye to. And my first episode, I'm going to be covering the band Strawhorse, which is one of my personal favorite bands actually. So they're formed somewhere between 2000 and 2001, and there was a misconception that I've seen on a couple websites, like the very few websites I'll cover them, that on a couple websites they said that they were formed in 2014. That is not true at all. That's a misconception because on SoundCloud, I do believe also Spotify and YouTube, a lot of their main album, their only officially released album, Brilliant Teen, that came out in 2001, was released in 2014 because that's when they were just published on those websites. But that does not mean that the band did not start in 2014. That is a very big misconception I've seen so far about them, but that I can guarantee you is not true. And in Strawhorse, there's 4 members. Their lead singer had the nickname LA, and then they had a bassist, a guitarist, and then a drummer. And they actually went through 2 drummers from what I can find on YouTube. Both of those drummers will come into play later on. You guys will find out why. They come into a big part of other stuff, but you guys will find out later. And then they reformed in 2017. They haven't really made anything. They've made a few Facebook posts is really the only thing I can see of their proof of activeness. And as of 2021, they are still active after reforming, but I've not seen anything on them since 2021. So maybe they split up again and haven't published that publicly. And the final thing you guys need to know about Strawhorse before we start the video, get into what lore they had. One of the their biggest accomplishment by far was their songs Fishbowl and Atlanta both got on a PS2 game called Off-Roading Fury. And people were shocked. Strawhorse fans and ATV Off-Road Fury fans were very surprised to see just this band that nobody heard of, because even back then nobody knew really who Strawhorse was besides people local in the Boston area, because that's where the Strawhorse was local to, is Boston, Massachusetts. So they did a lot of shows in that area in Boston. So really that was the only people that really knew about them. So it was a big shock to those fans that they managed to get onto a game. Obviously ATV Off-Roading Fury wasn't the biggest game, but it was a decent game back in the day. So that's really all you guys need to know about Strawhorse before we get into the video. Before we get into our second and third section, as I mentioned earlier, the 2 former drummers of Strawhorse, would become into play later, and this is where they come into play. Their names are Steve Kilroy and Jose Morales. As all these archives I'm about to mention and talk about came from their YouTube channels. Please check them out. Known archives. There's very few known archives of Strawhorse. The only things we know is there's 4, possibly 5 live shows fully recorded and posted on YouTube, multiple demo tracks, and then unreleased tracks performed live, which brings us into songs outside of Brilliant Teen. Now, Brilliant Teen was their only officially published album, but they have multiple demo tracks that were performed live or was a demo track that didn't get released into Brilliant Teen or any other album. These consist of a 2019 demo that was unreleased and was unnamed during a practice session, Home, which was both performed live, archived, and demo, which is archived, Break, which was performed live and also had a demo, and then 2020, which was just performed live, and then Body Bags, which was just performed live. The Devil in the Hills, which was only performed live. Electric Kung Fu, which was a demo track. Oblivion, which was only a demo track. Monster, which was only performed as a demo track. Nation, this was only performed live. House of Glass. This was only a demo track. And then, which gets us into one of our final sections of this video, changed version of Fishbowl. So, in one of the live videos recorded and posted on YouTube by Jose Morales, shows a changed version of Fishbowl, which only one commenter noticed on that video. And here is what the main chorus of Fishbowl should sound like. And here's what the live version of that chorus was. Now, there is no really reason why they changed this chorus, if this was just one thing for this concert, or if this was an actual change, or if this was recorded before they officially had the master version of that song. Either way, it's unknown, because a commenter asked that, like I said. But Jose Morales, even though he did reply to this video, he didn't really give a direct reason on why. Just replied to the comment. But if you want to see his reply, then I will have his channel and also Steve Kilroy's channel tagged in this video, so you can go and watch the video for yourself. Now we have signs that Strawhorse is possibly still active as of 2024 or 2025. This ain't fully proven, but Steve Kilroy, one of their drummers, mentioned that one of the demo tracks that he released on his channel, that a commenter asked about it, and I forget if it was either a reply on a comment or if he put this in the description, but he mentioned something about how it was very like dusty and wasn't that good, but a full version of this track will be released in sometime next year, which supposes to me that possibly Strawhorse is still together and planning on releasing some of their demo tracks that they never got to release from the 2000s, because all of these tracks that I mentioned earlier, they are all from the 2000s, like when they first had their first run as Strawhorse. Besides that 2019 unnamed track that they posted. And really, that's all I gotta say about Strawhorse. Let me know what your guys' thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys, again. And I just want to say, check out Steve Kilroy's and Jose Morales' channels, as that's where I got all my stuff from. They are two of Strawhorse's former drummers, and really the only things we have left of archives of Strawhorse from their past, at least.